This is the legendary Chesapeake oyster. There were stories, books, wars fought all around these lovely bivalves from all around the bay. In the olden days, they said that there were oyster reefs. They were way up out of the water, and the boats would have to circumnavigate around that.
Exactly. I mean, if you didn't watch it, you'd run into one, and they weren't too kind to the bottom of the boat. They've got sharp shells here.
They are.
They are. They would grow up in great big clumps and reefs, and I've seen that recreated in certain areas. People are experimenting with growing in aquaculture with the oysters. So, isn't that fun?
Yeah, and it is. And the other thing, there were so many oysters in the Chesapeake back when Captain John Smith first sailed into the bay, that within 2 days they could filter the entire bay. There were so many of them.
Something.
Now it takes about 6 months to a year to filter everything from the oysters that we have. But we're doing all kinds of different things. Quite a number of organizations are working on building oyster reefs and repopulating the wild oysters. Such an amazing thing with farm-raised oysters now all over the bay.
They're all filter feeders, and they all do, as you mentioned, they clean the water, and we need that. The bay really does need those filter feeders for sure.
And they're good eating.
They are good eating, John.
So it's amazing, the variety of oysters that we have now. There's all kinds of different seeds. They all have different names, and they usually have something to do, like a chincoteague or, a rockport or something like that of where it's grown. And each oyster actually has a different flavor depending on where it was grown in the bay. As you get further down towards the mouth of the bay, it's saltier. And as you get up further, it's sweeter. So anyway, we're really lucky that we have such a variety of oysters in the bay, both wild and farm raised. And so it's a pretty cool thing. We're lucky.
We are fortunate. I think from what I understand, a lot of these growers and different regions, as you mentioned, John, it's like wine. They're marketing like wine. These are certain oysters from a certain region, and they have this flavor profile, and that's how they market them. You go in restaurants, and they got all these different oysters.
They do. And, they're like wine tastings.
Yeah.
You go to the Grand Central Oyster Bar up in New York, and there's oysters from all over the world, and they all have different flavors and different profiles, but you will find a lot of specific Chesapeake oysters when you're up there.
Right.
Absolutely.
Good.
So, all right. So if we're not eating them on a half shell, one of my favorite things is fried oysters. So we're going to make something today that's called single fried. And you're saying, well, what does that mean?
That means there's no more than one in there, right?
That's right. So I'm going to put equal amounts of cornmeal and flour. Going to take some salt, about a tablespoon for this. Also, going to put a little bit of Old Bay in. Again, another about tablespoon of that. And about a teaspoon or so of cracked black pepper. It's a pretty simple dredging mixture. This can work for anything. You could use this for catfish. You could use it for, just about anything that you like to fry. And it depends, if you want it hotter, put a bunch of more pepper in it. If you like a little bit spicier, put some more Old Bay into it, or you could put some cayenne in with it as well.
Okay.
So that's not too hard, right? We got that right there. So as everyone can see, like that. Then we have something that is absolutely beautiful. Shucked oysters.
Beautiful.
Look at these. Look at these. They're absolutely gorgeous. And so some people, they'll do different things. They'll double flour. They'll flour it first, then they'll put it in an egg mixture, and they'll do yada, yada, yada. I don't like it.
Okay.
I go for simple.
You're a purist.
I'm a purist. So look at all that liquid in there. Everybody see that? That's oyster liquor. And oyster liquor is like one of the best things in the world. And is like, I call it Chesapeake gold. And you don't get rid of it. You save it. You can use it. It's almost like a fish stock. It's got so much flavor.
How about that?
Yeah. I would say it's the oyster's answer to your baiter.
There you go.
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All right. Well,
yeah.
that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Well, it's relief. It's a lot of flavor in there.
There's a lot of flavor in it.
You got it. You got it. That is
And
beautiful.
whenever you
Those
put it in
oysters.
anything, like if we were making an oyster stew, putting that liquor in there, that's what gives
Oh,
it all
boy.
the flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
And I know a lot of new recipes now are coming out with like oyster liquid as a flavoring. I guess because it's really got a great texture and
about
taste
It
to
does. It does. It's
How
it's
about
pretty amazing. So, again, this is really very, very simple stuff, but it's really tasty stuff. So I'm not doing a whole lot of pushing or shaking. I'm just tossing these gently oysters in there. If you want them to be a little bit thicker coated, what you could do is do like I did this right now, and you could put it on a plate and let it sit for about 5 minutes, then put it back in.
Oh, so it'll build up on.
Yeah, and it'll build up a little bit. It'll give you a little bit more of a coating. I actually like a lighter coated oyster. I don't like it really, really, really thick. So you want to have some nice hot oil.
Oh boy,
Nice.
that's ready.
That's ready. Whoa.
Look at that.
Pretty.
All right.
Go, John.
So as
That
you
looks
see,
beautiful.
now that was a
Oh, my
fast
gosh.
fry, was it not?
Amazing.
Minute, 2 minutes tops.
That's it. So the secret in this is having a very hot oil, not burning. You don't want smoke coming flying out of it, but you want it to be nice and hot. And you get those oysters in there, they don't absorb all the oil, and they're nice and crisp and beautiful.
Beautiful.
And this is just an amazing kind of, dish that you can have. So you can have this as an appetizer. You could have it as your entree, or let me show you something here I just happen to have right in my.
Nice.
Just happen to have it.
Just happen to have it.
Oh, look at that.
This is something that people absolutely love, to get a Caesar salad, and then they just put a couple of freshly fried oysters on there that are still warm. And when you cut into this with the flavor of all that garlic and cheese with the Caesar salad, it's unbelievable. So yeah, you can make an oyster poor boy out of it. You can make a fried oyster platter. You can make a little appetizer out of it. But this is a nice thing to do, and you could have this for your whole dinner. Make a big salad and do that. But I think we should actually have this for our dinner. Would you like one?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm gonna dip.
You're gonna dip?
Oh,
Okay,
let's
I'm
dip.
doing what
Come
you're
on,
doing.
let's dip.
Go ahead. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you. Oh my God.
That's amazing.
So good.
We really wish you were here, all of you. But you can actually make these in your own home. And as you saw, it's not really hard. It's really just some seasoned flour, cornmeal into some hot oil, and you have some of the best eaten oysters that you could
They are
possibly have.
delicious. They are
The
delicious.
Chesapeake Bay oysters are so good. I don't know if I mentioned to you, but my grandfather, my great grandfather, and my great uncles were all oystermen. Now they were on the Virginia side, Tidewater side, but it's a long history. If anybody's in this area about the oysters in our bay, it's just amazing what we have.
It is. It is. We are so fortunate to have all these species, and the oysters got to be right at the top of the list, John. I mean, you're covering them all here today.
All right, we're doing it. Well, next, you brought up a great thing. We're so lucky to have all these species. Well, we have a couple new species that we're not quite sure how we feel about. So we're going to take a look and see a little bit about this, and then we're going to figure out how we can cook our way out of it.